Thank you, Bill. And you work so hard for the foundation day after day, and thank you to you for everything that you and Carolyn and the others have done tonight. We're glad to have you on the campus of Dallas Baptist University. I've been president here for 27 years, a good long time, and we have always held Dr. Maston in high regard here at DBU. And we've been so grateful to the Baptist General Convention of Texas for keeping us alive, let me just say. So many of you prayed for us back in the 60s and 70s and 80s, and so thank you. We are doing fine now. All these buildings are paid for, which is really, really good, and we have no debt, but we don't have enough scholarship money. So everyone has a need. So I'm going to be working on trying to raise scholarships in the years ahead, and they are searching for a new president right now, and they will find one very soon, I think, I hope. So it's my privilege tonight to be able to introduce Dr. Pinson. Before I mention that, let me just say a word about Dr. Maston. When I was a seminary student, I worked on the church staff of University Baptist Church with Dr. James Harris, and he and Dr. Maston were good friends, and so I got to meet him then and work with him a little bit. My title was Minister to Senior Adults at University Baptist, and of course he went to Gambrill Street, but he would come over to some of our senior adult gatherings, and what a prince of a man, and what a great man. But we're also going to talk about another great man tonight, and that's Dr. Bill Pinson. I first heard Dr. Pinson when I was 20 years old. I was a Baylor student, and I was at a Baptist Student Union meeting, and I was so inspired by his words, and all of us in our generation were. Dr. Pinson, any of us who were in our 60s heard you speak at those conventions. And so thank you for inspiring us and giving us hope in the next generation. And then 40 years ago, it was my privilege to then to be one of his students at Southwestern Seminary, and he's been teaching me ever since, and I suppose there are a lot of us in this room that could say the same thing, that he's been teaching us ever since we met him. A great teacher, a great mentor for so many of us. Dr. Pinson, you've lived your life with integrity. You've been an ethical leader. We have trusted you. Many of us don't trust a lot of the leaders. Many of us have really not known a lot of great leaders, but in knowing you, we have at least gotten to know one great leader. And I've been disappointed in a lot of leaders through the years, but I've never been disappointed in you. I want you to know that. There was an article that Dr. Pinson wrote several years ago when he was executive director of the Baptist General Convention of Texas. In that, he said, for the follower of Christ who is a leader, there really ought to be no other kind of leadership than servant leadership. A leader is to focus on helping others, either directly or through an organization. Thus, leadership is not a privilege, but an opportunity, not a place of power, but of responsibility. More and more, I am convinced of the absolutely top priority of leadership. I recall sitting by an outstanding businessman on a plane one day talking about organization. He asked me if I knew what the three most important ingredients of a successful organization were. I asked him what they were, and he replied, leadership, leadership, and leadership. It is practically impossible for an organization, be it a church, association, or institution, to rise above the level of its leadership. And for Christian organizations especially, that the call is for servant leadership. And you have been a servant leader all these years. Several years ago, someone wrote a book saying something about meet you at the top, see you at the top. And you have never been like that, Dr. Pinson, and we want to say thank you as a matter of integrity, that's not what Jesus would have said. He would have said, meet you at the cross. and meet you at the foot of the cross. And so the servant leadership that you have portrayed for all of us has just been magnificent. And we have a servant statue here on our campus, and I know the Baptist building has one too, and that is Jesus washing the feet of Peter. And when I think of you, that's what I think of, is a servant leader. And I know that y'all did not come here to read his resume. It's, by the way, it's in the program, and I could have gone through a lot of things and read them to you. But let me just share a few highlights. He was president of the student body when he was at the University of North Texas, and also president of the Baptist Student Union there. And he helped to desegregate the campus. In fact, as president of student government, he worked on it with the president, and the summer after he graduated, they were finally able to integrate as a school. And then when he went to Southwestern Seminary, he was also involved again. This time Dr. Maston was heading up, as we all know, he would be doing that, was heading up the desegregation ideas and trying his best to talk with the people there. And Dr. Pinson became one of his students and helped as well, and became a colleague and fellow student with Jim Culp, who later came with you on the Baptist General Convention of Texas. And so, so from the very early years, Dr. Pinson has been working in the area of ethics. And of course, then he taught for 12 years Christian ethics at Southwestern Seminary, followed by going to First Baptist Church of Wichita Falls. And I know Don Willis is here and others from that church. Then he went to Golden Gate Seminary, where he had a great ministry there. And from there, he became the executive director of the Baptist General Convention of Texas. There were 100 people they considered, and they got it down to one, and they actually got it unanimously voted on. And I was reading through some materials, and I saw who was on the committee and how they made that unanimous with that committee. I don't know, but there are miracles, and there are miracles. So one of the miracles that we had in Texas was Mission, Texas, and that was wonderful, Dr. Pinson, the growing of all the churches and the beginning and establishment of churches. And so only eternity will be able to tell all that went on because of your goal to begin those churches in Texas. But there were also many special emphasis that he had, and particularly let me mention a few that relate to racial, working across racial lines and spreading the gospel. I'm going to just read some of these from this booklet that I have here, if you don't mind. So the first one is predominantly black congregations increased from approximately 80, this is during his tenure as executive director, to over 600. The Office of Black Church Development was created. The first black Texas Baptist preached the annual sermon at an annual session of the BGCT. The first black Texas Baptist received the Elder Statesman Award. And as we know, leaders are always involved in the decisions and in encouraging people to make decisions about creating the Black Church Development Organization and helping select elder statesmen and all. And then in regard to Hispanics, predominantly Hispanic congregations related to the BGCT increased from approximately 550 to 920. The first Hispanic served as chair of the executive board. The first Hispanic served as chair of the administrative committee, the State Missions Commission, the Christian Life Commission, the Christian Education Coordinating Board, the Human Welfare Coordinating Board, the Committee on Committees, the Resolutions Committee, and other convention committees. And then with other groups, other ethnic groups, congregations of other people groups were increased from 48 to 234. So amazing work there in that area. And then, of course, we all read the articles, many articles. I don't know if Doris Tinker is here tonight. Doris, is Doris here? You'll tell about that. Okay, well, Doris was a part of all of this, but he's been writing articles and speaking all these years on. And something dear to my heart was the aging-related matters, because I worked with him on some of those. And the environment, medical ethics, many of you know he served on the Baylor Healthcare board, and I know Baylor Healthcare is here tonight, and how much they appreciated all that you have done on medical ethics. And then there's religious liberty. There was all that you have done with the Baptist history and heritage, and speaking at all of our Baptist schools, and most of them are all represented here tonight, Dr. Pinson, because they respect you so much. And then the Baptist World Alliance as well. But let me say a word about Bobby. Okay, I should have brought my glasses up here, but I didn't. So I'm going to try my best to read this. This is from the Baptist Standard. But I recall that this is an article that you wrote on your 40th anniversary. And now it's 60 years, right? So 20 years ago, you wrote this about Bobby. But I recall that our wedding almost was not. When I responded to God's call to preach, you gave your engagement ring back, saying that you were not worthy to be married to a preacher. It was I who was not worthy to be married to you. It's the sweetest. This is, all the women are going to get there. Oh, in fact, all of us are going to get our handkerchiefs out. But fortunately, to God's will, you consented for us to be husband and wife together as one for life. And what a marvelous life you have made possible. Your devotion to the Lord Jesus Christ inspires me. Your deep faith and strong trust in Him causes you to be willing to go wherever God leads, and He has led many places. Your marvelous prayer life blesses me and many others. So y'all have been a role model, and as parents with Meredith and Allison and the grandkids, you've been a role model as a Christian couple that love the Lord with all your hearts, and we pay tribute to you for that. I want to read in closing from Right or Wrong by Dr. Maston. He wrote this in 1955. We have not arrived at spiritual maturity until the Spirit of Christ so lives in us that He expresses Himself through us. As we mature, we become increasingly unconscious that our lives are influencing others for Christ. The best Christians in any church and community are largely unconscious that they are good. Christ so lives in them that others cannot help but see Him incarnated in their lives. He has become a well of living water within them, flowing through them to bless all they touch. And you have certainly blessed all of us in this room as you have touched all of our lives, Dr. Pinson. We love you so much, and it's a privilege to be able to present this award to you. Would you come forward, please? Dr. Pinson, these people have come from all over the state and all over the country, actually, to honor you. So let me read you this plaque. The T.B. Maston Foundation presents the 2015 T.B. Maston Award for Christian Ethics to William M. Pinson, Jr. for a life of Christian servanthood and leadership in applied Christianity as pastor, professor, author, seminary president, denominational leader, October 23, 2015. Congratulations.